When multiplying fractions, it is easy to see what we are doing when we use rectangles whose sides are the same length as the denominators of the fractions we're multiplying. The rectangle becomes the unit we use to express our answer. Remember that in word problems, the word of usually means to multiply. Be sure that your tray is reset, and as I work a problem on the computer, you follow along with me using your tray. Tonya had 1/2 of a pound of candy and gave her brother Sam 1/3 of her candy. How much candy did she give Sam? Since the denominators of the fractions are 2 and 3, I'll use a 2x3 rectangle. This will give me a unit that can be easily divided into 2 equal parts and 3 equal parts. The first thing I do is divide the rectangle into 2 equal parts. One of these parts will represent the candy that Tonya had. Since Tonya gave her brother 1/3 of her candy, I need to divide the candy she has into 3 equal parts. Tonya gave her brother 1/3 of her candy, so she gave him 1 of these equal parts. Tonya gave her brother Sam 1/6 of a pound of candy. Let's review how we got this. We started by making a unit to represent 1 pound. Look at the unit. It is made up of 6 equal parts. Each part equals 1/6 of a pound. Since Tonya only had 1/2 of a pound, we divided our rectangle in half. Tonya gave her brother 1/3 of her candy, so we divided her candy into thirds. When we made our rectangle to represent a pound of candy, we said that each ball was equal to 1/6 of a pound. Since Sam's candy is represented by 1 ball, it means that he was given 1/6 of a pound of candy. 1/3 of 1/2 equals 1/6. Tonya gave her brother Sam 1/6 of a pound of candy. Let's work another problem. This time I'll start it and you can finish it. Remember to reset your tray. Letitia and Natalie each walk to school. If Letitia walks 2/5 of a mile to school, and Natalie only walks 2/3 of that distance, how far does Natalie walk to school? Since the denominators of the fractions are 5 and 3, I'll use a 5x3 rectangle. This will give me a unit that can easily be divided into 5 equal parts and 3 equal parts. Your teacher will now pause the movie and restart the movie when he or she is ready. Remember, if you have any questions, ask your teacher for help. Here's how I worked the problem. The first thing I did was divide the rectangle into 5 equal parts. 2 of these parts will represent the distance Letitia walks. Next, I divided the part representing the distance Letitia walks into 3 equal parts. 2 of these parts represent the distance Natalie walks. 2/3 of 2/5 is 4/15. Natalie walks 4/15 of a mile to school. Let's work another problem. This time I want you to work the problem. Mark rode his bike 3/4 of a mile and Carlos rode his bike 2/3 as far as Mark. How far did Carlos ride his bike? Your teacher will now pause the movie while you finish the problem. When he or she is ready to continue, he will restart the movie. Here's how I worked the problem. I started by making a 4x3 rectangle. Since Mark rode 3/4 of a mile, I divided the rectangle into 4 equal parts and used 3 of these parts to represent the distance Mark rode his bike. Since Carlos only rode 2/3 of this distance, I divided how far Mark rode into 3 equal parts. 2 of these parts represent how far Carlos rode. 2/3 of 3/4 is 6/12. Carlos rode his bike 6/12 of a mile.